Hi, I'm Katie Metzger. I came to see Artem in the beginning of this year, 2025, because I was having some back pain, low back pain, which I had had most of my life, I guess you could say. I came in for an eval and then I ended up doing jujitsu and straining it before we even came up with a plan. So yeah, I was doing jujitsu for about 6 months. I really hadn't done sports since middle school, but grew up a gymnast and then went, right into working. Didn't have like a lot of athletic training in any area. Then there was, nurse work to hurt myself, and then 3 C-sections. So here I am, overweight, pretty like sad shape, I guess you could say, and started training jujitsu because I really had nothing to lose. I didn't really care. Like it didn't matter anymore if I got hurt worse. There couldn't be worse. So it was about 6 months into it. And I started like really liking it and really wanted to be there. And I was like really pushing myself and would just complain and lay on my couch afterwards. And then my husband was getting some help from Artem Yu with his knees, and he was having good success and was feeling good. He's like, why don't you just go see him? And I'm like, all right, fine. So I went for the eval and you did your thing. And before you came up with any kind of program for me or even exercises, I think I was trying to do inversions in class. And then a couple days later, we were like bending over a lot. And I like went to stand up and I couldn't stand up. So I kind of came in as an emergency, maybe a little bit of a favor, quick. And yeah, the program started.
And tell me a little bit more about like after that, how bad did it get? Like what kind of like limitations did you have? And then ultimately, like what was the process to getting you back on your feet, like back to training?
So it turns out it wasn't necessarily my lower back. It was like a combination of everything else that was weak around it from, 3 C-sections and then never doing like not having a core anymore and issues with like my psoas muscle. And you followed a path sort of and started, like you say, rebuilding. And yeah, it kind of like took off from there. We just followed pathways that were weak. And I come to find out I've been like sitting on my leg my whole life. Every time I sit down, I sit on my left leg and I'm really crooked. That was easy for you to figure out. So fast forward a year later ish, since January, where are we? 9 months ish, 10 months ish. I'm training jujitsu as much as I want, sometimes 3 classes a day. Started some weight training. I did my first competition over the summer and was pretty successful with that. I felt very strong and got a double gold.
Why do you think that the stuff that we did like worked for you and like helped you get back to where you want to be?
Well, with physical therapy, the traditional physical therapy that I had done, different programs, they weren't really programs. I just kind of would, have something MRI'd and then doctor would be like, oh, this is what's wrong with you. And then I'd go do PT and they'd have me doing like just these repetitive exercises, never really explaining like this supports this or, this is weak because of that. I do like these exercises. Some were like painful. I have a torn shoulder and they had me working on that. And I would just have my arm up in like a corner and I didn't understand why I was doing the things I was doing at different times. And I remember just being hopeful. And then I'd be doing these exercises and I would just like have so much pain, like my eyes would well up with tears. And I was finally like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like this isn't getting me anywhere. I did different bouts of PT different times that didn't work. I don't think I understood their goals. Just like too simple. It wasn't following like the pathways that you follow. I know what I know from being a nurse and working with physical therapists. There's definitely something to be said about the difference between the two. I just maybe don't know enough to pinpoint exactly what it is, which is sort of the magic behind what you do. When you get to a certain point and you're in pain and you're not living your life, you really don't have anything to lose anymore. And you could do nothing about it and continue to suffer and hate your life, or you could take a chance. And I didn't have anything to lose. I was just like sick of sitting around and being unhealthy and being miserable. My life has changed by leaps and bounds. I really felt like I was on my way to like die. I was dying, just like declining in every aspect, mentally, physically, mostly mentally, I guess, because of losing like my physical capabilities. Like I didn't want to garden anymore. I didn't want to carry groceries anymore. I didn't want to go up the stairs. I just like didn't want to do anything. And then, I'm living a totally different lifestyle now. I lost weight, started strength training for, my bones because I'm middle-aged-ish now. My diet, I've changed my diet. I've been around a lot of people that have influenced me to really change my life from being like pretty much a sedate, I don't want to say fat, but out of shape person to somebody who I feel like I can, do laps around 20-year-olds, no problem, any day of the week.
Oh yeah, that's powerful stuff right there.